Oh yeah, no, we're rolling.
In here.
No, I mean like literally, we're rolling.
I don't believe you.
No, me neither. Why would I do that? Why would I put the show live?
Man, I mean, it's like we haven't done a live show in so while. Like,
I
do
mean,
we even do live shows anymore?
we did one last Tuesday. It just wasn't the planned guest. Though I did hang out with that guest.
I love that. I just said we haven't done live show in so while.
Oh, I was just gonna let it slide.
No, you don't let that slide.
What's really funny is I intended to say Slile. My brain didn't let me actually screw that.
Also, I've been particularly cruel this week to a friend.
Okay.
Well, work friend, but like we're into like just razzing each other. Also, he's former military, so he's really fucking familiar with it, and that's kind of like his love language almost. Um, so he got a vasectomy,
As one does. I'm looking into one.
as one does. The moment he did it, though, the first thing he sent me was clip of Obi-Wan saying, "I just felt a million voices cry out." Suddenly, like it.
Love it.
I hate I just butchered that line. I was like, "Damn, you're a good sport about that." So I just been making the last day before the day he was going to get it. I was fucking. Oh well, didn't even see that, but like just riffing into him.
Sure.
Other people are like, "Oh man," it's like, "Oh, y'all both leaving early." It's like, "Yeah, but he's coming back a man." Oh, started singing like yesterday, just the part where it says, "I'm not half the man I used to be." Um, he was talking about plumbing today, actual plumbing, and then I replied, "I thought you got that fixed."
Jesus.
I took him out for his last meal. We
Of
left.
course.
When we left down the hallway, I actually said, "Dead man walking," so everybody knows because he's that type of guy. I don't know. It's been a thing. So
I
you know
mean,
how like decided all of a sudden it's like I felt comfortable rifting on you on conventions,
yep.
like meanly,
Yeah, you got became
but
very mean to me at conventions one day, very suddenly.
lovingly.
Uh,
It's all with love.
Usually.
I never mean it.
Yeah, sure.
But I also never checked on you to see if you're okay. So
That's the fact that yeah.
for that, I'm sorry.
That's good.
I feel bad. I'm gonna ask him about it tomorrow.
Nah,
Anyways, welcome to the Catch All podcast, the water cooler for constantly calibrated, where we talk about our game experiences, sometimes the news, except probably not today.
a lot of games.
A lot of big games. It's that big game release time, and we put a lot. Oh, some of us put some more time in the game. Some of us decided we want to go to Dreamhack.
I mean, yeah, that's something I decided to do, but I did play games there. Ergo, it's
Did you?
still. Yeah, no, I played like
Like
7 games.
games? Do they have games at Dreamhack? But I
I
bet you
think
like Dreamhack itself, we'll probably talk about in next Concal, maybe. I don't know.
no, we're talking about DreamHack now because it's
Are
like
we?
it will
Okay.
literally. I put it on the list. I mean, it's literally will only take me a minute to go through.
You act like I don't pull up this document just, as a formality. I mean, I don't actually read it.
Well, I mean, let's put it this way: if I didn't put DreamHack on here, what else am I really playing?
And this is true. It's true. Okay. So, Josh, I mean, write this one down. Unique. Well, not unique. That's not the word, but it's like it's a noteworthy thing. I played some Gundam. I'm not going to talk about Gundam because we got a lot to get into today.
Wow, it's official. We have reached beyond the veil, people. It is the time. It's the gathering time of hell on earth.
Yeah, it is. I did reach a negative B in space ranking though.
I don't even. You every week you tell me about this game, and I still don't know what any of these things mean.
I play the game and I don't know what any of these things mean.
Fair enough.
I played a little more Warhammer 2.
Nice.
Vampire stepping on my property. I am the
What?
emperor. I am the emperor. He's messing with my elector counts. My elector counts, not me personally, but my elector counts, which are pretty much my people.
Yeah, sure.
So I took it. I took it to the vampires. Took it to the vampires. It was a hard fight. Whew, we lost some people, but in the end, they got it.
Nice.
They caught these emperor hands.
Emperor hands.
We went on. My friend with the dwarf. My friend's a dwarf. Like the dwarf. He's pretty much the dwarves because he took over the other ones. And yeah, man. Whew, they didn't know it was coming. They didn't know it was coming. But yeah, now I got a Bretonia's now messing with me.
Okay.
We were friends. Josh, we were friends. I trusted him. I gave him military access. You even know what that means?
I mean, access to your military.
Yeah, I mean, that's like I can come to your house and just reach in your fridge, as I do,
Gotcha.
as I do. But instead, I don't think a good way to link this. I use your food for my own evil gains.
Ah.
Basically, he marched across my land to take out my elector counts and take over land that properly belongs to the Empire.
Hmm.
And I am Emperor and Prince. And
so pretty much you opened your gates to them, and then once they were inside the gates, they started taking shits everywhere.
So that's my next one. My man Franz is going to swing his big he's Emperor Dick over there on his Griffin. He rides a Griffin now. And we'll see where that goes. We'll continue this story. And I should document it for history, the Chronicles of the Empire and the Dwarves.
I appreciate
It's
that.
great stuff.
I do.
I didn't expect to get this much into it. I honestly was just going to give a passing gag, but this went on longer than I thought.
Welcome to everything we've ever done. Everything where it's just like, we're just going to talk about this for 1 minute as a bit, and then it's like a 20-minute conversation. It's like, what?
Yeah. So I thought I was going to give you another chance to say something, but I'm not. I'm going to go ahead and get my next thing.
Good.
A quick thing, Red Dead Online, playing it PC. Gorgeous on PC, by the way. Gorgeous. Absolutely. Sure. Red Dead Online, buggy as hell, but it's always been that way. It's just people don't talk about it because Rockstar. And you know who also doesn't talk about it? Rockstar. They are so, my friend brought this up. It's so true. They are so bad about communicating with their community.
I mean, remember GTA Online? GTA Online for, 2 years? To play the game, to log into GTA Online would usually will require about 8 to 20 attempts to get online, and then it would take 10 attempts at least to get into a session with friends, and then there was a 9 out of 10 chance that you were going to be kicked out of that session anyways. And that went on for 2 years. It's still not good, but that was like the first 2 to 3 years of GTA Online, and Rockstar never said a thing about it. Never gave you...
Now, to their credit,
yeah,
they're working on it.
Sure.
They're fixing it. They just don't feel a need to tell you what's happening.
Sure.
We give you a roadmap, which they can do, apparently. But that said, I'm still enjoying it. But I mean, the glitches for me were more fun. As if, like, I saw all of a sudden like a huge shadow on the ground. I'm like, what? Looked up. I'm like, what the hell is that? There is a full-on carriage in the sky just starting to fall, along with its horses. Now I noticed like it started to split. It's like, oh, those are the passengers. So yeah, a carriage just happened to spawn damn high in the sky for no reason. It just hit the like it's like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy when the whale's falling.
Yeah.
It's a lot like that.
I was literally envisioning that scene exactly. That's the scene I always go to when anyone ever says something spawned randomly in the sky in a game.
I mean, too. So that's why like mines,
I love the Red Dead glitches because like cars always in GTA games always would spawn in the air sometimes, but but it's so much more satisfying when it's Red Dead because it's it's a carriage with a horse and people, and it's just like I feel bad for the horse, but at the same time it's a video game and it's really fucking funny to see the physics act up.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's all I got to say. So Josh, what you been playing, man?
What do you want to do? You want me to talk about what I played what I was playing leading up to Dreamhack, or what I played at Dreamhack? Which one do you want first?
Whichever you want to go to. I mean, leading up, I guess.
Let's talk leading
chronological
up,
order.
Sure. So I played a lot of Luigi's Mansion 3. I think I'm almost at the end of the game. I did decide, last time we were doing the show, I couldn't decide if I was going to use my voucher for it.
You're further than I am.
Fair. I couldn't decide if I was going to use my voucher to pick up the game or not, or something else. But then I had this epiphany. So we were picking up both of the Pokemon games, which I haven't touched yet. I put down a rule. Well, one, I couldn't pick it up before I went to DreamHack due to Best Buy deciding not to open. And then on top of that, I didn't pick up Pokemon. Then I haven't started Pokemon because I have put down the law with my wife saying I'm not going to start it until she starts it. Because I enjoyed the games with her, and if she's not going to play the game, I'm probably just going to return it, kind of thing. That being said, I also got Jedi Fallen Order review code last minute, which was really cool, but what I realized was Best Buy had a $10 each pre-order gift card or whatever, gift receipt, whatever the hell the term is, reward. That's what I'm looking for pre-ordering those games. So I picked up. So I just thought to myself, you know what? The only other thing I want to use this voucher for potentially is Dragon's Quest 11, right? So I thought to myself, here's what I'm gonna do. Dragon's Quest 11 is going to go on sale probably sometime by the end of the year. Right here, so I'm gonna get 20% off, and then I'm gonna have a $30 gift card from these 3 games I'm pre-ordering. So that was what made me decide finally to pick up Luigi's Mansion, because I gotta math everything in my head. But surprise, surprise, aside from the first half hour where I really freaking hated Luigi's Mansion 3's...
Those controls take a minute to get, not more than a minute.
Well,
They're just so unconventional, I guess.
It reminds me of Grim Fandango's tank controls when the game originally launched, where it's just like you literally nothing makes sense, but eventually got used to it. And also, for the most part, I just spin constantly while just sucking things up, and it works fine. But
spin and suck.
Spin and suck.
Luigi's Mansion, Josh.
Yep. The spin and suck mastery game, but it's been a good time.
Well, the other part is you don't also expect that from like a Nintendo title, because like any Nintendo made title, or like their flagship ones. Granted, Luigi's Mansion's not the flagship, but you know what I'm talking about. Like their big monthly release.
Yeah.
Usually, like Nintendo title, you expect like these nice tight controls or something easy to understand. And no, Luigi's Mansion is like it takes some time to get those mechanics down.
It might be the single least intuitive game I have played in quite a while.
Was it better when you stopped using the right joystick to start using B to turn?
You can use B to turn?
Mm-hmm.
That should answer your question. You can use B to turn?
You can. Okay, so that's the part I figured out. Like I figured told you this too, but I know a lot of stuff was going on.
I think I messed with it and I forgot that I could do that. It does sound actually familiar in hindsight, but
for me, it controlled a little better. It made a little more sense. It seems like the right Joy-Con, which is like I played the original Luigi Mansion, but I do not remember how to control it. I'm pretty sure it wasn't dual analog.
That doesn't sound familiar from what I've heard people say.
I mean, you wouldn't, because the other stick was a C stick. C stick was fine, but not using it as a second analog. Like it's not that.
But overall, like, I'm enjoying the humor of the game more than anything. Luigi is my favorite character, pretty much in the Nintendo stuff.
That game is charming as all hell.
It's extremely charming. There's sweet moments. It's enjoyable. I enjoy the fact that I can never remember the name. It's Professor Egad, right? I think.
Egad can shut up.
He needs to shut up. He never stops talking. But he sounds like a goddamn Ewok. And it drives me nuts because I feel like Wicket is talking at me all the time, and it's just like all of his stuff is just jump dip, but it sounds literally like not just the language of Ewoks. It sounds like a damn Ewok.
And it was voiced by Warwick Davis.
It would not surprise me. But like it's just seriously just sounds like generic Ewok or kind of stuff. So, but the game's charming as hell. I've been having a lot of fun with it. There's a desert level spoiler later in the game, or mid to late game, and I did suck up every last bit of sand. I could not help myself.
I couldn't. I'm not there yet, but I know I'm gonna do the exact same. I mean, the Reb has put out her disclaimer that there is nothing for you at the bottom of that sand.
I immediately did it and then tweeted at her about it on that same thread because I couldn't help it, because that was when it was just like my obsessiveness like kicked in hardcore. For reference, where I'm at in the game is I just unlocked. I know I'm ahead of you, but I just unlocked floor 13. So I haven't.
Yeah, you're way ahead of me. I think I just got floor 7, maybe.
Yeah, well, I was pretty much playing the game whenever I was editing podcasts, when I was just doing a lot of stuff. Plus, I've been trying to get more time with the Switch fix, or the fixture S1. Which, now that I have some more time with it, by the way, this is my preferred. I only game on the Switch this way.
Awesome,
once I got used to it, and it became a little more flexible, taking it off and on a plane, thumbs up heartily. Loved the shit out of this thing.
Definitely loving it more since the last time we talked about it.
Yeah, no.
Since you discovered you could put the screen over the controller.
Once I discovered I put the screen over controller, plus like on a plane and stuff like that, it just feels more comfortable. Because I always felt playing a Joy-Con on the plane, I felt like I was sitting on the plane like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I always felt like I was either sitting like this or like this, and it just never felt comfortable on a plane. But with this thing, it's just I just literally just sit with my hands on the tray table, and it's like I'm just holding a controller. It still is a little more weight on my wrists and my fingers, but it's manageable. It's not as bad as it was before I got used to how to leave the screen. But so I've been playing Luigi's Mansion on that, and I've been having a good time. So it's kind of like dual reviewing kind of
Ooh.
things.
Did you do the director right or dirty?
Oh, I did him dirty.
I did too.
It
I felt bad, but then an achievement popped.
it was my
Like,
yeah, exactly.
okay.
It was my favorite like level so far really in the game. But then when I saw him go through that door, I'm like, I wonder.
I did
And
too.
I felt really, really, really bad. And then the achievement popped, and I was like, okay.
Maybe it was meant to do that. I now regret the decision. He was just, yeah, man. I wanted to make this movie. He had the perfect one. He just wanted to cut that thing.
Yep. I mean,
Now we'll never get the Snyder cut of Luigi's fight.
yep. Luigi's Godzilla ghost fight, but
Do we want to talk about some of the boss fights, at least the early ones?
I mean,
Well, I think
you go ahead if there's one you want to talk about. I don't think that's that much. Like it's already been a couple of weeks after the game came out. I'm not really that
okay.
worried about spoilers.
Well, the one that kind of like hit me just because, and surprisingly, it hit me that I enjoyed it because I should hate it due to previous lifetimes. But no, like the pianist,
Ah.
his fight, not just the fight, but the way like everything moved with the music.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was so good. Like,
It's a good fight. That's actually the only time I've been knocked out as Luigi, and I think, and that's which it's funny because you unlock the ability to buy the golden bone that resurrects you. Right before that fight. Obviously, they expect people to have trouble with that one because it unlocks right before. That's the only time I've actually had any difficulty with staying alive in the game. But no, it was a very good fight, and it was one of the ones that truly required some thinking on mechanics. Because most of the other ones, I've been good, but I haven't actually felt they required a severe amount of thought.
okay, yeah, same. Yeah, that's the first one. I was like, wait, how do I do this? And
Mm-hmm.
it did take a minute to figure out his mechanics exactly how you damage him. But yeah, like every boss seems to be like a puzzle as well,
Mm-hmm.
which is I love it.
Definitely
Like it's
starting there and moving on where all of them are puzzles to varying degrees.
mhm. Yeah, because it seems that's where it's like, oh no, this is not just a simple find how to flash him and then that sounds
Yeah.
bad, and then like suck, flash, then suck.
Mm-hmm. HR Flash and Suck.
Yes, yes, but I don't know. Yeah, it's just a charming game. It's just a joy to play. Like I'm legit giddy and happy when I'm playing it.
Same.
It's a good Nintendo time.
It's having the same thing that happens for me. Was happening with me when I played Outer Worlds, which is funny. It makes more sense with this game than Outer Worlds, but it's that same thing where it's like I got 5 minutes to kill, and I just open the game, do a little bit, and like close it down again. And it doesn't bother me to do that because it's really cute. Puts a smile on my face. It makes me feel happy. I haven't really played it much. I played it a little bit on the flights, both directions with the flights to and from Atlanta, but I am in knee deep. I was starting up my my Star Wars movie rewatch stuff, and I'm like, I have opportunities to watch these on a plane where I don't have to feel bad about like sitting in my office by myself watching the prequels. I could just sit on a plane and make somebody behind me suffer by having to watch this. So yeah, so I didn't play as much because I was watching movies a lot. But it's good. It's a good time, and I really want to finish it before I start Pokemon, but I get the feeling I'll be starting Pokemon pretty soon, so we'll see if I finish it because I never finished Link's Awakening remaster. I just kind of lost interest. I still want to finish Luigi's Mansion, so I'm gonna try to finish that alongside playing Pokemon. As far as the Switch games go. And yeah, so otherwise, I think I was talking Atlanta. So let me, if you're cool with it, I'll segue into Dreamhack Atlanta really quickly.
Yeah, sorry, I was distracted by something.
Yeah, I know. Like I'm like, I'll just keep vamping here.
Every student that like captured this to do like trying to, I guess, whisper at a girl at a rave or something like that. And Greg just goes like, "It's not fair, you know. Man of Steel and Batman v Superman were all that expected." I was thinking, Greg, you actually have these conversations in all the settings like this.
Yeah, that's not wrong. Also, your tweet literally just popped up on my screen.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Anyways, keep going. I was going to do one too, but I can't think how to finish it. Anyways, yes, Dreamhack.
So Dreamhack, so I went out to Dreamhack. I was lucky enough to have the opportunity to check out the event, and it was a cool event. Better than Dreamhack Austin was last year June. Bigger event, a lot more going on. But it was neat. I don't have a lot to say in the event itself because my experience is a little more unique and different from a lot of people. Oddly enough, I spent barely any time really on the floor, except I did play a few games. And I had the opportunity to fill in as co-host for their indie show and tell showcase thing. I co-hosted alongside Bless RNG. And I don't know if there's a VOD. I didn't get a chance to look into it, but if it is, it's mixer.com/DreamhackIndie. But yeah, got to talk to some devs, play some games, which is actually where I got most of my gameplay in.
Cool.
But there's two games. There's actually about I think 2 games I want to talk about really quickly. I'm gonna do like a rapid fire thing. So there's a game called Hindsight 2020: Wrath of the Rakshasa, and it is, I'm trying to find the developer, Triple I Games. So they are former BioWare / former Sucker Punch devs, and they wanted to make a game. I'll just read this spiel here. Hindsight 2020.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
They sound amazing. I love what I'm hearing, but the fact they said triple I.
Yep.
I had the biggest frown on my face of just discomfort.
Yep. Yeah. I got you.
Go on.
So I'll just read you a quick description. Hindsight 2020 is a 3D action adventure that lets you relive your past and fix your mistakes for vastly different gameplay and story experiences. Choices and actions have meaningful consequences that allow you to discover the power of your morality. Decide the fate of 2 kingdoms as one-armed warrior Jahan. I think I'm saying that right. Will you respect the values of your former home by respecting life in all forms, or will you meet conflict with violence? Hindsight 2020 releases on Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Mac in 2020. So what the game, it's a 3D action adventure game. The combat's cool. There's a lot of different mechanics to it, but the demo essentially, you're set out that you are told this guy Arthur, the person who had killed your father, is holding your best friend hostage. Your best friend may have been bitten by one of these Rakshasa or infected by them and is turning into this vampire creature. And your other friend saying, are you going to save your friend or are you going to seek revenge? And I don't know if that choice matters, but you can make a choice. Then as soon as you enter, you have it doesn't tell you it's a choice. You're given 2 weapons. One is a sword, one is a shock stick. It turns out that is actually a choice because the sword kills, the shock stick knocks people out. So there's 2 bars, health and morale. So the shock stick weakens morale to knock someone down, while the sword kills some people. Pretty simple. And yeah, so I chose a sword, killed everyone, got to the boss, this guy Arthur, and before even going to talk to him, it gave me another choice. Do I want the sword or do I want the shock stick? I chose the shock stick purely because I just was curious about the other weapon, and that's when I discovered it was actually a choice because he gave me this whole thing after I defeated him, which was, what is this? You kill all my men, but you leave me alive? How dare you? Kind of thing. After I beat him, I went and talked to the friend, and I talked the friend out of committing suicide because they didn't want to turn into this creature, and then the demo ended. What's interesting is, one, they are trying to not do binary choices like this is the good choice, this is the bad choice. They don't tell you what the choices are. They don't tell you choices are good, choices are bad. They don't tell you how it's going to affect anything, because they want it to be more like real life gray choices where it's like, on paper, killing people bad, knocking people out good, right? But it might affect the choice later. On paper, saving your friend's life is good, killing him, letting him kill himself is bad. But what if he turns into one of these Rakshasa creatures and kills a bunch of people? So everything is left open. But the goal of the game is to be a 6-hour playthrough. When you finish the game, it tells you what every choice in the game was. It gives you a journal showing you all your choices, and then you can just reset time and just do the whole thing again. And there is, I believe, 7 different endings. depending
Okay.
on choices you make. And it's really cool how they're trying to do a choice-based narrative. I think it's going to be really cool for streamers to do these kind of playthroughs and, like, crowdsource what they should do. The game is a little rough at some places of the combat. I couldn't figure out the boss fight. The boss fight took me down a few times.
Yep, that's about to ask you what the moment-to-moment gameplay's like on it.
So yeah, the sword gameplay it's weird. You do 6 hit combos, but they come in 2 batches of 3. So you swish, 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 pause, swish, swish, swish. If you do that, you unlock. I forget what the currency is. I want to see if it's written on here. It's not. So you unlock essentially your superpower thing. You unlock points towards that, and then once that meter fills up, you can do super hits and stuff like that, which involve like throwing your like an electric blast out at people. There's also some characters that you're just the only way to defeat them is to reflect their hits back at them. The boss was confusing because like he would slam his weapon down, shockwave. You'd get around the shockwave and hit him in the back, and it just did nothing. But every 5 to 8 times I would go in for the kill, suddenly time would slow down. He would launch backwards, and then he'd be unconscious while I wailed on him and did damage. I couldn't quite figure out exactly what I was doing, and what I was. It just seemed like essentially a battle of attrition, where I just was doing the same shit over and over again without logic. What's interesting about the choices, though, is the friend who wants to kill himself. I apparently was one of the. They said at least as of Saturday afternoon at this 3-day event, I was one of like 3 people who saved the friend, because the only way to save the friend is obviously to choose the right dialogue options, and there's only one path that led to that. But if you take too long in the boss battle, the friend is dead before you get there.
Oh, okay.
So time is actually a factor in how long you take to defeat bosses and take things down. So it's a nice gameplay begats choice, begats gameplay kind of hybrid thing, and honestly, it's really cool. It's kind of like that kind of stuff that I like with choice-based stuff. Somebody Blem saying in chat, that sounds cool. I don't like when a game gives you choices. I don't like when a game gives you choices, but right/wrong kind of influences your decision-making. And that's my issue as well, Yosemite, in the sense of, you always see people on Twitter or Facebook being like, there's always those memes going around like, played through Mass Effect 6 times, still was a Paragon every time, which is funny because I start up until very recently, I started every game on the quote-unquote evil side because I'm not evil in real life, and so I find that fun in a game to go outside my thing, and then I'll usually double back and play the good side and then a neutral side because I just like to see all choices in these games. So I like the idea of this game because 1, it's 6 hours, roughly 6 hours, not terribly long, and 2, there's no right or wrong. The developers aren't saying, "Oh, hold your hand," and saying you can do this if you want to, but this is actually the canon storyline, or some shit like that. It's just like, go into our world, wreck shit, or don't wreck shit, whatever.
See, I was actually gonna go back and comment like on the Mass Effect thing. Yeah, I generally lead to like what choices would I actually make, which usually is a Paragon or whatever the good side is.
Yep.
Then I could try to go back in and play as the character, but not so much because I also do want to see what would happen if I make these choices, but not so much anymore as getting older, more responsibilities, less time.
Sure.
Or even when you actually have the time, it feels like you don't have the time and you don't do anything. It's a weird thing. Sorry, I can get a whole spiel about that. This is probably more for a mental health show. But yeah, it's just like I gotta look at it realistically. It's like I'm probably only gonna play this game once now. Like for games that have choices like that, like even Outer Worlds, which not that long of a game considering what type of game it is.
Sure.
It's something I kind of want to go back to and check things out. But honestly, I'm probably not. Probably not. Even if I do pick it up on Switch, I'm probably not going to end up playing through it again. I haven't even finished my first playthrough. So
yeah, I keep thinking to myself that I just punched. Sorry, that for audio listeners, punched the mic by accident. I want to get back to Outer Worlds. I'm definitely going to do one more playthrough of it. I just don't know if it'll be PC or Switch. But I definitely intend to check it out.
Gotcha.
But we'll see.
Yeah. So there's something else you played as well, right?
Yeah, one other thing I checked out, so people might remember it from, I think it was on the Kind of Funny Games showcase back around E3. But the game is called
Oh,
Looking for Heals.
yeah, I remember this now. Now, by the way, when Josh mentioned this here, before we get things ready, this is where my mind went because this always happens with us.
Mhm.
I immediately went, "Is this a wrestling game?"
I know, and as soon as when you first said that to me, I'm like, and then it was like, oh, that's actually not a. Now I really want to make a. I want to make. I always wanted there to complete side tangent. I always wanted there to be a wrestling game that wasn't actually intended as a wrestling game. I've always wanted like a wrestling RPG or a wrestling like point and click adventure game or an adventure game or some kind of thing that's it's still a wrestling game. It's still wrestling stories, but it's not a sports wrestling game, and it's more story based and stuff like that. And the name Looking for Heels would not be a terrible name. Just saying.
Dude, like imagine it's like a dating sim, but you're not looking to bang them. You're looking just to build like
The perfect
corporate,
stable.
the perfect stable, the perfect heel stable,
Yep.
like the Nation of Domination or the corporation or the
Where
corporate
can
people.
I
I forget
write?
what they go.
I need to write this idea down. This is actually genius.
You give me full credit. Part of the cut, we bring in Chris Avalone. Uh,
There you go. Oh, jeez.
because he's good at the branching out. He's good at the branching out. Me, not so much. I can come up with the base idea. You can come into details, get crazy out, but we need someone that can branch out. I'll keep doing that. But yeah, that. Sorry, we're going on. So, what is League of Heals? HEALS.
Yeah, so command your squad of warriors while keeping them from an early grave in the only rogue light where the healer calls the shots. So, game starts off, launches you in. You are you're a healer. I think the story is your person like guild of healers, something like that, and you're leading your team and you're recruiting people as you go. You can get a full party, and like in the tutorial, it gives us one person, two people. It's a party of four. Technically, you're the fifth person. And all you're doing is you're sending your characters, like you pick your target on the screen, you send it to them, and then you have the ability to recall them. So in other words, you see like the character the monster they're fighting start to like charge up a circle around them, you call them back. I had to learn that mechanic because I kept the tutorial really hits you over the head with that learning that mechanic because it's very important later in the game. And live on stream, I could not get the hang of it.
That's the worst time to play a game for the first time.
Well, I checked out this game, so I didn't actually see their booth when I was wandering. It took me a while to find it, even when I knew what I was looking for. But my position on the stream was as co-host was to ask additional questions or to play the game. So
Yes.
so that's what I did. Is I was playing it, so I was learning as I went, and I tried to make it fun. But yeah, no, the game was really cool. I like the mechanics of it. I like the being able to send people in. What's really funny is sometimes you enter a room and all of a sudden your party just starts wrecking the shit out of the entire room to get coins because that's what adventurers would do. But the graphics are interesting. You're for healing, you have like a standard heal. Apparently, you can unlock later on healing guns. So you just shoot your heals at people instead of like so for healing over time instead of like burst heals. There's resurrection, there's shields you could throw on, and like your tank will actually like tell you, hey, I need a shield right now, and if you do the shield in time, then your tank takes no damage, that kind of stuff. So essentially for people like me who in an MMO typically play the healer, it's really fun because it's a healer main character in this roguelite environment. And then later on you unlock the guild and you can actually like choose who's on your team, and they all have like their likes and dislikes, which I don't know how it factors gameplay. But you explore this world, and yeah, no, it was sincerely like one of my favorite things I've played recently.
Super cool. So you don't control your team at all, right?
So all you control in the team is you can select the monster, and if there's multiple, you can send like one of your guys after this monster, one after this one after that one, or you can send them all after another one, and then you tell them to come back. So you're still leading the team, but you don't do anything whatsoever regarding their move set or that stuff. It's just like if they're this type of character, they're gonna do these moves.
Yeah, I was more curious about like if they try to mimic real life of the MMO, where like someone just jumps in, doesn't wait for a command. You have to like, oh crap, let me try to heal him.
That's actually a good question. I wonder if there is like a thing where like if somebody has a
Like, are
personality.
there Leroy Jenkinsons?
Well, I wonder if like because there are
Guy?
Genkai. I think Genkai. No, but like that's actually a question I want to ask them because like I'm thinking to myself, I don't know how the personality stuff that was listed, if that's just like flavor text or if that actually affects the game. Because yeah, maybe if there's a Leroy Jenkins personality, I don't know if there is. They could, they just don't fucking listen to you and they just hop into the fray. That would actually be pretty cool. I'm gonna ask them about that because actually I'm gonna reach out to them tomorrow with some questions, anyways, because I'm really interested in the game. But
I would like to know.
I will get back to you. I will inform people. And I played a bunch of other things at DreamHack as well, but nothing I have strong thoughts on. So maybe
Okay.
if we talk about those games later on down the road or something, I'll refer back to them. But those were the two that really stood out to me.
All right. So we're gonna roll back into something that I've been playing a lot of. Josh,
Yes.
Death Stranding.
Go on.
Hit me with questions. Let's go.
Why?
Kojima,
What?
Norman Reedus.
Where?
America?
Who? Ooh.
Ooh. Mads.
No, so tell me a little bit about your experience with Death Stranding. Like, what's been what would you say is your chief takeaway on the game? Because you even offered me a free copy of the game, and I just was like, nah. So
Yeah, so in classic Justin fashion, who has some connections other people don't, but they're connections you have to wait on. They're legit connections, by the way.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm impatient, and they didn't get, and I didn't see a. Basically, it's a retailer thing that certain way to get part of it. I'm not gonna get details because they don't want to be known about it. They
sure,
just do exist. They are Sony thing, by the way.
sure,
Anyways, they very much give you tests, and when you get those tests, or like a session where pretty much they give you like, hey, look at what's coming out. Hey, here's information on Death Stranding. This is the feature for this session, and then you take a test on it. And then usually they either do a drawing or I think they're straight getting to the point now. It's like, hey, whoever finishes the first gets a code.
okay,
And they usually anything that's first party Sony or Sony produced, usually pops up on there. Like I also
okay.
have Concrete Genie, which I didn't expect, and I need to play that. I'm probably gonna talk about that next one because I think I'm gonna try to put some time in that this weekend. Um, and yeah, I had a feeling it was gonna happen, but no, I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait. I had to play it. I had to play it. So,
So how much
I'm gonna
how much have you played of Death Stranding? Let's
chapter 5 is where I'm at.
context. So context. Do you know how many chapters or how many hours in you are?
Now, I can say there's 14 chapters, but there's one chapter that I probably spent 10 hours on.
Okay.
There's another chapter I spent 30 minutes on.
So chapters are a meaningless distinction of time, is what it sounds like.
Chapters are, as in any story, it's just a defining point of where you're at in that story, pretty much.
Sure. Well, that's
Like,
one of
if
the
I say
things.
chapter 5, somebody knows these story beats happened.
The one thing I read on the game when I was briefly considering checking it out was somebody said, "Hey, it's not as bad as the hinterlands in Dragon Age Inquisition, but like get to this chapter in Death Stranding before you start wandering around exploring everything because it's not worth it if you don't push the game forward a little bit."
I 100% agree because you can go back.
Yeah.
There's not like you hit this point. There are different maps. Honestly, I'll only give it a 3 because once you hit chapter 3, you get into a map that is definitely much larger.
Okay.
Like I'm in chapter 5 and haven't been to all corners of it. Mainly because I don't have to yet. And usually when you get the story B, it'll tell you to go in this direction. That's when you start hitting some other stuff. But yeah, that's where you can start getting actual like upgrades. As far as like the power skeleton, I'll let you carry more. You start crafting the bike. Because like this game at the beginning has a very Metroid moment where Norman Reedus is on his bike making delivery, doing Norman Reedus things. As he's riding a bike, as ride is advertised. But it's almost like, oh man, he has these tools. He's always established. but it's the most hold my beer Metroid moment I ever seen. Where there's a jump coming up, stops, turns around, turns back around, and tries to jump and it wrecks his bike and most of the stuff he had on him.
Okay.
So yes, that is the hold my beer version of Metroid, of how every Metroid game starts.
Sounds about right.
If you're wondering what I mean by that, it's like that's just like, oh, you come in super powered. Oh, something happens, you lose all your abilities. You also see in Castlevania Symphony of the Night and a bunch of ton of other games.
Well, I mean, almost any game. It's not even just like the Metroidvania style, because I mean, it's big in the Metroidvania ones, that kind of thing. But I mean, that's common of almost any sequel where your character becomes unnecessarily overpowered. Is
More of a they start like overpowered,
yeah,
or it starts super powered because eventually you get beyond that, and you're kind of building yourself back up to that point, and then eventually you build yourself beyond that point.
sure.
But yeah, so get back to it. So like this game is up to where I'm at. You are delivering stuff. That's it. You take orders, point A to point B. You get your load. You try to figure out how to get to the other location. And the best way of taking care of it without dropping it, trying to figure out how to traverse this world. With that, you get tools. Very early, you start off with the ladders that you can pop up. You start off the climber rope if you need to get down. Also, you can use ladders to like breach stuff or like get across gaps, stuff like that. And there's something oddly satisfying about this, especially the further it goes. So let's say pretty much all you have is ladders, climbing ropes from like chapter 1 through 3. 3, you start to get the power armor or the power legs where you can actually carry more.
Okay.
And also like Khalif reviewed this on Spawn on Me, and he did the way he described this is so just perfect. It's like I don't know if you ever went mountain climbing or hiking up mountains or down them, but it handles the weight distribution so damn well. Like as far as being as true to it as well, like you kind of have to balance the weight on you because, and this is the beginning of the game is also annoying too because there's a lot like, oh, hold R2 to shift back to the right, hold L2 to shift back to the left, or both of them like kind of grip it on, like you like grab your backpack straps and hold it tight. That gets less and less as the further you go in the game. There's also other things to help prevent that. Like I'm at the point now, like unless I have a ridiculous load on me, uh, like my Norman doesn't lose that much balance unless he's going down like a crazy hill or something like that. But like the way it handles like how you traverse that hill when you start going down and stuff like that, or even going up it, feels damn accurate. Also, like there is a weight distribution too. Like everything you on you does have weight. It does affect your balance. And now saying that, it's not like you have to be because like we put the weight on your back, you can also put some on your shoulders. Like he has 2 hip slots, 2 shoulder slots for keep smarter packages. And later on in the game, like you can get like an armor upgrade. Like you can actually pop like armor plates on there instead, but you sacrifice that equipment slot for that. And then like, yeah, you kind of gotta like bounce away. Also, like when you just pick stuff up randomly, because as you're walking from place to place, you'll see other deliveries did not make it, and you can pick it up and get the point. Well, the upgrade for that, and I'll get into that in a second. But when you put it on, like it just slaps on its back, and then like it's just stacked in a weird way, which will control how you move. But for anybody who thinks like, oh man, I gotta sit there and balance everything, you can if you want. But honestly, like they actually, thankfully, thought this through. Like basically, you go to the like cargo menu, you just hit triangle and like I'll just distribute everything, and then you kind of like perfect it the way you want to.
Yosemite's asking, can't you just smash down the triggers to counter the balance issue?
Yes and no. You do have a stamina meter too, of course. Why not? This is a game about it. But now on top of that, on top of just the world itself, which by the way, this is one of the most. It's barren as hell, but one of the most beautiful worlds I've ever seen rendered in game. Like I could have sworn when this game opened up, this is like actual shots of a just that type of beach. But no, it was actually gameplay. Like it's nuts. How well the like just how the world itself looks when we like kind of look at small details, as Kojima is a man of small details. Yeah. So that's kind of like how the moment is chapter 1, 2, 3. And that's where we kind of get into it. So, reason why you want to carry stuff over is you get likes. And that's actually a really cool thing about this game. It is for something that's so bleak, pretty much post-apocalyptic thing where people are like trying to strive for hope. Everything you do is met with positivity. Everything.
That's what I've heard. I mean, I don't like some of stuff Kojima says, and it's already been talked about how the game has some really queer-phobic stuff, and that bugs the shit out of me. But what I was gonna say, well, what I was
Actually, I
say,
kind of want to
well,
talk about that too. But no, go ahead.
I want to talk about that as well. But I'm just saying, it has a lot of negative connotations, a lot of negativity. But Kojima's overarching idea, he's talking about that he wants the game to be this field of positivity in a negative world. I both respect and appreciate.
And he actually pretty much nails that too, because everything you do when like I don't know why I was really at the Black Mirror where everything was like rated on social media or something like that, and that was your worth. It's not quite that, but like everything you do gets likes. You can't get a negative like. It's just how many likes do you get?
Yeah, okay.
So only upvotes, no downvotes. And basically, the condition you bring it in, the time you bring it in, determines how much likes you have, determines your points. Now, with each distribution point or each area where you could drop stuff off at, there's a star system as well. Like that's kind of like your rating system with them. And I don't know what you get to chapter 1 and 2, even though I have maxed a couple people out, but 3 is where stuff starts unlocking. So let's say you get to the engineer, you hit 1 star, he gives you the first level of the power skeleton. You get further stars, he'll give you like the third level of it, like 2 to 3. You get to the place, you start getting the bike, then you get better levels of the bike, and then you get the long version, the extra battery version of the bike. 'Cause the bikes, everything runs on electricity. But when you get to like the extra battery versions, you guys decide is that worth it to take up the inventory slots for the extra battery power?
Okay.
But from there, it gets even more things. You have this one thing that's called the PCC. Pretty much, it's your fabrication machine. It lets you create things that can help you and others in the world. Everything you put down can pop up in somebody else's game.
And that's something that I've seen a bunch of. Because one of my favorite things about this that I've actually seen about this game, because I'm not a fan necessarily of Death Stranding. I mean, on paper, honestly, this sounds like a lot of my shit. In all honesty, this sounds like totally like my kind of game. But seeing Greg Miller talk about how Khalif was like supplying was repairing all of his trucks or leaving trucks for him in his game, like those kind of things. Were the parts that I really appreciated. Like all the people talking about, yeah, it was really funny. I was playing, and then it turned out that X person in the industry was actually repairing all of my stuff.
Yeah, and this is where I started. This is where my gameplay started going. And if you play this game, do not rush through it. When you hit after you hit chapter 3, take your time, play it the way you want to. So now, the whole idea of the game, the whole premise of the game, as complicated as everything is in the game, the core story is basic. The idea is America is splintered. Everybody lost communications after it's posted a lot, or this catastrophic event, which is the Death Stranding. The best way I can explain the Death Stranding is after it happened, which I don't honestly understand what the event itself is. Now, to saying that, there's a ton of emails, just a ton of backstory you can get as you level up stuff, as you find like these added things. The story is there depending on how deep you want to go. But basically, this happened, and the best way I can explain it is imagine any movie where there's parallel universes, and those universes are starting to collide together, except that this one is the world of the living and the world of the dead, which also affects time as well with the dead world, because they're just all there. Like, even, for instance, I just died. I happen to be in this area. You can see my remnant of it. But so was the person here that happened to probably fight during a war is still here as well, like an earlier war, something like that.
I gotcha.
So on top of that, timefall started happening. Timefall is basically rain, which greatly accelerates time. And this also becomes a gameplay mechanic. So, like, if you are stuck in timefall, Saving Private Ryan, that shot where it goes from young,
yeah, the young to old, Matt Damon.
Matt Damon, there you go. Yeah, it goes from young Matt Damon to old Matt Damon.
Yeah.
It's pretty much, imagine that scene he was raining. That's what timefall does to you.
Okay.
Also, that's what timefall does to anything. So that kind of explains why the world is barren.
Okay.
So imagine like an erosion on the mountain or the Grand Canyon happening, but it's happening at a much accelerated rate that you can see with the eye. Imagine that going on every building and every road, just deteriorating everything by rapidly advancing time. So that's the reason why there's like nothing.
Okay.
So there's a reason why the world's barren. Um, so yeah, that's happening. But with this too, there are ways like they still mess with you, especially when timefall is happening. That's when the dead start kind of like bleeding into it. And that's when they can actually get hold of you, start killing you, or do a bunch of stuff. Like they want you for some reason because they're trying to grasp onto something in the world. And everybody who is from the dead world is pretty much tied to somebody in the living world or something that made it to the living world. It's the whole thing. That's why all the umbilical cords are there. So you know.
Hmm.
And the way living people can see it pretty much is ABB, which is the bridge babies. They get into how they're produced later on. I won't get too much into that, but basically that's how you can connect and actually kind of experience the world. Also, Sam Porter Bridges, Norman Reedus, kind of has a special type of blood, which just seems like there are special people born to the world where either timefall doesn't affect them as much, or their blood has an effect on, or not just their blood, pretty much every bodily fluid has an effect on the BTs, which are the dead remnants, phantoms, whatever. Speaking of that too, also in this world, death is handled in an interesting way. So pretty much if someone dies, that body becomes a time bomb.
Okay, how so?
Now I haven't seen this gameplay yet, but I just got to the point where I got lethal weapons, so I don't know if I have to do this. So pretty much if they have a downfall, basically it's a point where like a huge being of the dead world, it makes a huge impact in the living world, which is pretty much a bio bomb. Like it
Okay.
will level cities if this event happens. They call it void outs. So I forget what they call the process of when the body starts changing, where you start seeing like you actually physically start seeing like this blackness start coming over it and this weirdness, like this tar substance. And that's where you see like the process starting to happen. If it gets to a certain point, a void out will happen, which it will level any city it's in. The solution to that is cremation, but they also cannot cremate in the city areas due to this material that also started coming around called chiral.
There's so many things like.
There is, but like when you see it all work, it starts to make sense.
Oh, I know. I
And
get the. I get
so
the
basically,
idea, but there's just so many things.
there is off-site cremation areas which certain other porters will take care of. Like there's actually different levels ones. Each like some are for packages, some are just hauling around dead bodies pretty much to have them cremated. So yeah, in this world, like when grandma goes, no funeral, man. You just bag her up, call a delivery guy, send her off, say your goodbyes. So yeah, this is the type of world you're in. Now, I haven't seen that. I imagine that might be a gameplay mechanic because at the area there is a cremation site, and I do have lethal weapons. I just haven't tried them yet. Because that's the other thing too. Where like when even with other people, they call them mules. It gets into other stuff later on, but pretty much these are guys that are they're scavengers, they're bandits, they're pirates. They hijack uh deliveries. The reason why you're delivering because there's no like they develop ways that pretty much they call it chiral printing. It's just material. It's pretty much just 3D printer, but like there's things that you just can't make through that, and that's where a porter comes in there. Also, they have to be connected to network to use the materials and the blueprints and all the information everybody has. And that is Sam's mission. His mission is to link this country back together by by going to each site, making these deliveries, and trying to hook the site up to the network. Now, there's some people who are not a fan of the overall UCA. Pretty much, it's the reformation of the United States, the government. Some people are not quite a fan of that, and they don't quite want you to link up with you, like right away. So you have to do extra jobs for them, other stuff, and they'll finally link up. And once they link up, you can start printing stuff from there. You can start using their materials, and that's pretty much how the game is. That's the moment to moment part where you're getting deliveries to build up relationships, so you can build more stuff, so you can build more stuff, more stuff. I had other words I was going to say there, but my brain just died.
There's more stuff, and then there's more stuff. But have you heard of the more
Yeah.
stuff when there's more stuff?
So I'm at the point now where like I could work on roads or like establish points that will actually build roads between the main spot. Now I've been working on maintaining them, getting them ready, getting them up. And once I got the roads going, like it's easier to like I guess actually got trucks now where I can make the bigger deliveries back and forth to the other areas, build my relationship with them, unlock other things, so on. And that's the game. There's a story going on in there too. BT fights are damn interesting, especially when you get sucked into the big boy. So basically, they're the phantom ones that have the umbilical cords, and then if they get a hold of you, like a whole like tar thing happens around you, and that's where you see like a ton of them start coming up and start clawing at you. If you get out of it, you're cool. But if you, because the mechanic works there, you either have to dig down and so they can't pull you in, and you also have to shake them off. But if you run out of stamina, which everything in this game, they'll pull you under and they'll pull you to the thing that's linking them there, which is just a huge, weird creature that I'm pretty sure Del Toro dreamt up with Kojima. There's a whale in there, no big surprise, Moby Dick Studios. It's a thing. But anyways, like those fights are so interesting because you have to use these weapons made for you. But basically, you're throwing grenades at her, you're throwing bullets that uses your blood, which actually takes away from your blood, your actual blood in game too. That's also a thing. Like if your blood runs out, you die. Sam is a particular guy. Like if he dies, he can actually bring himself back. It's weird. It's a whole thing. Ask me questions. But
I don't. You're just going, and I wish I had questions. And
listen, this could be an entire episode.
So here, Yosemite Blam's saying here. So Justin has Justin has played a lot of the game. I've heard a bunch of people talk about it, and it sounds like game of the year for them. So Justin, is this your game of the year? Shout out to Outer Wilds and DMC5.
Outer Wilds, specifically Wilds. God, everybody needs to play. That's such a good game. I'm not talking about Worlds, just a game. I'm talking about Worlds, good too. But Wilds, something special. God, I don't know. I really don't know. Like this game has hooked me. It is hitting some beats that I really enjoy. That really dig into me. Like that speak to me. I am enjoying this whole delivery system of, man, how am I gonna get this order over to that guy? And then you get to the point where you're just not trying to get the point A into B. You're trying to get the point A and B, or more A to C, but how can you also deliver this load to point C on your way that way? And then you're building bridges to make it easier. And oh, that's the other part too. So I was trying to say all that to say this. We connect somebody to the network. That's when other players' stuff starts doing it. So imagine like every delivery point is a section of the map, like a region. When you're going through that region, you might see a rope, you might see a ladder that's left by someone there, but you don't see anything truly helpful, like something that's like you're not going to see bridges and roads built up to where you need to go until you connect them to the chiral network. Once you do that, then you'll start seeing player items, more player items pop up, and that's when you'll start seeing people contribute towards the road building, and when you contribute towards the roads as well. And once you get on the road, one is just it's a straight point. Well, not straight point; it has curves and stuff, but pretty much it's a safe path. Also, the road charges your batteries as you go, or the roads are like powered, and also, in other words, you don't have to use your battery power on your vehicle or your whatever support you have on you to use it.
Gotcha.
God, there's so much to go into.
I mean, I think you've hit a lot of major points here. I think you've got a lot of important stuff out here. The game has a shit ton of mechanics and shit ton of things.
But at the end of the day, you're just delivering shit, and I like it. I don't know why, Josh.
Again, everything in description sounds like something I would want to play.
And I think you would too. So let's get into Kojima and his writing. Is something I think a lot of people. No, I'm not excusing him. There's some stuff there that's just insensitive towards certain groups, towards certain people, towards certain regions. But the thing I think a lot of people are failing to recognize, this is a Japanese director, Japanese game director with a Japanese studio, with a Japanese upbringing, making a game also a Japanese director, game, whatever, Kojima, strongly influenced by American movies, among everything else, a bunch of other stuff too. So part of it is, it could be his writing is not the greatest. We'll go ahead and put it out there, but this is not word from word what he's writing. It is coming from Kojima. It's probably going to a localization team. Somebody translate it. Somebody decided these are the words that I think he meant, but not sure. There might be some words in Japanese that don't translate well over to English. I don't think he means anything malicious by what's in there. And rereading it, I don't know. It seems like because like it's not like this is an established character that's coming from because it's one specific email everybody refers to on there.
Yeah, there's one specific email that everyone keeps coming back to, which is related to asexuality, which is related,
Yeah.
and the implication of the email is that lower birth rates are because asexual people, and it has a clear misunderstanding also about how anything in the ace community even works in the first place. Let alone that's a pretty disparaging comment to make.
It is, but it's based off of a character that you'd never meet. It's based off of one person's view in this world
Sure.
because it actually has other emails that express other views. Um, it's not a staple of the game. It never hits you over the head. This is something that you just read, and I think it could be lost in translation. It could be just he thought it's a good idea due to his upbringing, his culture, but doesn't translate well over here. That is fine. Like I'm trying to think of the best way to explain it, but basically, I think it's a translation issue or missing the mark or missing the thing. It's just like Americans going over to Japan and acting like dumbasses.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely
It's a cultural thing. I don't know.
it's a cultural
It's weird.
translation thing. There's no question about that. But at the end of the day,
Either way, I could agree it's a bad take, but I don't know how that bad take came to be. Is the part I'm really
no,
questioning.
and I get what you're saying, and I see no fault in what you're saying, but it's just the end of the day, this is still a game that is primarily made for Western audiences, not necessarily US audiences, but it's in large part made for audiences outside of Japan, and Kojima is not the sole writer, he is not the sole person, there is localization, there is stuff, and it's even if it's a random ass character in a game, I'm not saying differing views and stuff shouldn't be in games. It's just you have to own up that if you write something or put something in a game that implies this, people are gonna get mad about it regardless of things, and that's the point that people defending some of these queerphobic things and stuff like that need to get through their head, and making comments like you shouldn't be so sensitive. It's like it's not about sensitivity, and I think people should be that sensitive personally, but it's not about the sensitivity. It's about the fact that if you're gonna put something into a piece of mainstream media, and even if it wasn't mainstream media, it's gonna be critiqued because that's the point. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. Simple as that, regardless of if it is a de facto view.
Yeah, and I hear that, and just own up to. Like, the thing is, like, I don't know if I ever reached. Like, I haven't looked super into it, like how big of this has become. Has Kojima responded? Does he know it's an issue?
I
imagine by
think
now
he's
he
made
does,
some.
but-
I think he's made some offhanded comments at best, and that's literally the most I've seen so far. But I haven't been watching it that closely, so
Yeah.
I can't be certain.
Because I've seen many things that have been taken out of context before.
Sure.
Especially when trying to translate from Japanese. Like there's one particular one that came out. Like Kojima said, he worked on this game all himself. He's fully responsible, but that came from a Japanese tweet translated to Italian, translated to English.
Oh yeah, no. I've seen the same thing as well, and that's when you actually read the proper translation. It's not at all what he said.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh no, it would be nice if they say something about it or to try to explain it more. It is there. But I think it's if you're offended about it, you have full right to be. If it hits you some way, you have full right to be. Like it's a bad take no matter what. But I don't know. If it's there. I
Yep.
wish you explained it more. But I don't downfall an entire game for this because you know me, I'm the type of person that I never try to see just one view. I try to see as many views as I can in any situation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm cursed that way. So it's weird. But going back into it, the whole player helping player thing in a world like this is the part where Kojima is on his shit. Is this is a Stranding game? Is a new genre? Not exactly. It is a unique game. It is definitely probably more of an art piece than it is a game. But any feature you see in there does have Kojima's touch on it, but it's not uniquely his. Like Journey does this with random players popping in. Dark Souls does this with notes you can leave. Um, it is a very interesting way, and I'm like super curious how it works because it takes even weird placements that people put. It's like these are not just this is not like computer players on Mario Kart where it's just taking names that they're probably pulling from people who play it, but that's not who you're playing against. Like these are actual stuff set by actual people that happen to appear in your game that you can repair and help them and help back. It is a unique way to do it. I haven't seen it done like this before, but it's not. This is not a new game genre. Definitely
No,
not.
definitely
Like
not.
the game still has a lot of touches from Metal Gear in it. Like even how the loadout system, or even the menu system for your loadout, heavily reminds me of Metal Gear Solid 5 before you hand out to a mission. Like
Okay.
you pick your you get your quest, you pick if you want to fabricate any equipment, pick what equipment you want to load, how you want to load it. Feels very much like that. As in Metal Gear Solid 5, like before you get into a mission, you pick if you want what weapons you want on you, who you want to take with you, what vehicle you want to take to it if you want to. It's the exact same way for every order you do on here. And once you do an order, it's not like you're trapped to that one order. You can take as many as you want. There are some at a time. I have delivered a pizza from one end to the other because that just happened to be the mission. Um, I don't know. It's
This fucking game is
and
hard.
then we didn't even talk about guest appearances. Holy crap!
We don't need to talk about guests. Okay.
I get emails from Jeff Keighley, not Jeff Keighley himself, but Jeff Keighley's face in the game. It's not Jeff Keighley's voice either because he's not a voice actor. I met
Okay,
Conan
that part's
O'Brien.
weird.
But
No,
oh
there's
yeah,
just
because these characters you meet, you deliver stuff to, are characters in the game, and yeah, they email you, tell you, which is kind of cool because it tells you how things go. Like it gives you extra story on these characters and what your delivery has done for them, or stuff you helped them out with. There's like a little bit of spoiler. It's not quite like it's not a key point story spoiler, but there's like a relationship you bring together. You actually, oh, I won't get to that part more of it, but you do bring some people together. Um, and then like the emails are how the relationship's going, what have your how it's been so good to have these stuff brought to them, and it goes on from there. And actually, that's one of the few times you actually meet people in the game. Like the game is like the way it works is because of the timefall. Most cities, I believe, are like built underground or in these like bomb shelters. And for most of the time, your interaction is delivering stuff through an automated system, and they speak to you through a hologram.
hmm.
But sometimes they actually come out of the shelter and speak to you face to face, and those are like, oh, cool. And the more you start developing the world, you'll actually see like other porters in the land. They're not act like they're like other players, but just other people delivering stuff to stuff. And like we say hi to them because you hit the touchpad, like Sam just starts saying hello. But if you actually do that when you're near like somebody woke, like you'll hear a hello back. They're like, "Hey, I'm Sam." And they'll say, "I am also Sam," which is the idea. Like you are Sam. Every player is Sam. We're all Sam in this world. But yeah, there's other porters who are actually delivering stuff too. Like you see the package on their back, which you can hijack if you want. But if you say hello, they'll like they know you've been doing good. They'll give you a thumbs up. If they have equipment on them, they'll drop it for you. If you have equipment, you can drop it off for them. Does it help them at all? Who knows? But you could do it. You could be that nice guy. So let's get some. This is probably the last thing I'm getting into.
Well,
Besides the other stuff, like Conan O'Brien's in there.
That was applicable. There's a question in chat that's applicable to what you were just talking about.
Sorry, I'm like going so sorry. Just so you blame at chat. I am going so long on this, but
Do you always load into the same instance? Somebody's asking, like, if you cross a bridge, can you always go back and see that same bridge?
yes, kind of. Like this is what boggles my mind. I don't know how it works. Like it's not like there's this group of players and they're all in the same instance. It's like if you happen to run to a character, you start liking them. There's actually ways. There's you can connect more with them, and you'll see more of their materials start popping up. And their material, what if you ran into your ladder at this point, it will always be there until it deteriorates. Nice idea. That's timefall. It will start erasing the stuff that's there if it's not maintained. You can add materials to it to help maintain stuff. If somebody puts something down, you can also add materials to help. Like each item has like extra levels to it, which are like either add more functionality or add timefall resistance. So you're all helping each other to deliver stuff. Like everybody, like everything you do in the game that interacts with another player helps that player in some way. Besides the ladder that someone put that I got to the top and fell down a mountain after I got there.
So there are troll ladders and stuff like that.
I don't think he meant that. If he did, he's talented. but, so yeah, timefall affects everything, and that's the idea too. That's why nothing's like permanently there. It's there for a time until like everything has a expiration date on it. But you can put certain things you put materials in, like anything that is a structure, the roads, bridges. You can put materials to keep it going, to keep it alive, and like everybody donates towards roads, and like it tells you every time somebody does stuff. It tells you, no, probably not every time, but if somebody uses your stuff, if somebody likes your stuff, so like you have live feed of people you're helping, people you like, people who use your stuff, people who like what you use. It's just kind of cool, man. Um, and of course, the thing that I would say is definitely awkward with this game, definitely off-putting. The odd product placement. Now, the Monster Energy drink, in my head canon, it's like Taco Bell and Demolition Man. Like maybe it was the only energy drink to survive the Death Stranding. And since it was the only energy drink, now all drinks are Monster. You know what I'm saying? So that part I got over. And the Monster Energy cans actually changed to something else that is just in the game, like the game world. And you know, it's fine then. The part that gets me
Yeah.
is when you take a dump. An advertisement for Norman Reedus Ride pops up from AMC. It gets worse. So that's like, who's watching it? Why is it still in the air? Did Norman Reedus survive the Death Stranding? Does Sam Porter Bridges wonder why he looks like him? Now, does Sam Bridges know of Norman Reedus? The answer is yes. You want to know why I know that answer is yes?
I would love to know.
We hit a certain level. I forget who. You don't like a special trike bike, the Ride Edition, which has the extra battery power, defensive stuff, and basically it's the best bike you could have, as far as I know. When it pops up, the Ride logo's on the side, other side AMC. Not only that, when you start riding it,
What
he's
does
like,
it do?
man, Sam will start speaking. Saying, man, this bike's so cool. It should be on Norman Reedus' ride. Like that. And he'll keep saying stuff like that. There's like 3 different lines of stuff like that where he talks about Norman Reedus and ride and how cool this would be to be on there. Man, this bike's so cool. It could be on there. And that's where I'm like, oh, you sucked me in this world. You made this world believable to me. But why that?
I'm out.
Why that?
Like,
who's watching Ride?
I think you
And
said.
Oh man, then your bodily waste can be used as weapon. I don't know. I haven't used those. Basically, they turn into grenades. So you pee, you get number 1 grenades. When you poop, you get number 2 grenades. We take a shower, which, man, if you want to see digital Norman Reedus ass, you're in luck. A lot of that. But when you take a shower, unless you get in the muck, because it takes a shower, but still looks Norman Reedus. So I don't know if he's clean. Know what I'm saying?
Yosemite Blam's asking, my final question is the weirdness / strangeness is it the weirdness / strangeness that makes it good, or is it the mechanics / story?
Mechanics make it good. The weirdness makes it good, except the weirdness, like the why the hell Kojima weirdness.
The product placement-y things are making me really upset, honestly.
First, it was like the monster I accepted. How much Norman Reedus Ride is in there? Specifically, Norman Reedus' Ride, the show on AMC that nobody watches. I don't know. Actually, I haven't pulled things from. I'm pretty sure it's a lovely show. Norman Reedus is a lovely human being, but it just doesn't fit in the like. I can make headcanon for Monster. I can't make headcanon for Norman Reedus Ride. Did it become a hit classic? Is it the only thing that survived the old media? No, it's not the only thing that survived no media. Because Famitsu, dude, is on there and he's collecting old systems like PSPs. Literally, I delivered a PSP to that man. This is Death Stranding.
I'm just
The story itself is cool. The characters are cool. Troy Baker's character is amazing. Like the acting in this game, good. From the motion capture to the voice work, being some that do their own voice work, some that don't, and clear because like Guillermo del Toro, not a voice actor.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Keighley, not a voice actor. Conan O'Brien is a voice actor, and that's why he voices his own person. He even does like, it's very Conan O'Brien. There's a lot of other cool, like who isn't in this game? I feel bad for Corey Bartlock. But yeah, like I'm gonna play some more of it. Please bring questions because don't make me.
I've got no more questions. I can't even.
Well, I'm not trying to know why Kojima is like Kojima's use of some female characters or in certain scenes he just can't help himself. And I was wondering where because everything I'm like, okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. And then I hit the scene. And the scene itself, what has actually happened, why this character is in the dress they're in, makes sense. That part's fine. But how many shots their ass just happens to be in? How many shots just of an ass?
You can see me just staring into the middle distance right now.
There's been a whole talk about Meryl's butt in game. I mean, it's always been there in Kojima games. It always will be there in Kojima games.
Yep.
I'm trying to. Yes, I know there's just some stuff going on in Japan. I've seen worse. We all seen Dead or Alive. But it's like, why? Anyways, that's all I got for Death Stranding now.
Somebody has one more question.
Yes.
Would Death Stranding have made a better book/Netflix adaptation?
I mean, the secret that's not so secret. That's a secret to everybody. Is Kojima really wants to do movies, but he got into gaming. Because that's probably what a skill set allowed him to. But now, as he is building, as he has announced that Kojima Productions will also be doing movies, I think that's where he wants it to be. And limiting Kojima to 2 to 3 hours to tell a story is going to be interesting.
Honestly, that is... I feel like limiting the amount of time would be really interesting, and having something a la what we've seen in The Mandalorian so far, what we know of The Witcher, but from Kojima, I'm actually interested.
The world itself, without the weirdness, by the weirdness, I mean the weird product placements and stuff, makes sense. That I can understand that world. I understand why I can't explain it well, but I can understand why everything's happening.
No, Justin, if they make a fucking Netflix adaptation of this, I want Monster Energy to be advertised. I want Norman Reedus' other show to be advertised. I want all this random shit to be advertised. If we're going for adaptation, let's go for adaptation.
I wonder if Death Stranding is advertised on AMC's ride.
I don't want to know badly enough. There's no world where I'm that interested in that question's answer.
Someone do research, because I'm sure not.
Please don't.
So, God, how long have we been going on about Death Stranding?
The show needs to end. I'm getting texts about dinner being ready, so we can do
Jedi the Fallen Order.
How about let's restrain ourselves here, Justin. Let's do a full review next week of Jedi Fallen Order alongside Pokemon from me, probably, or maybe at least I'll have thoughts on Pokemon. Let's just give some quick thoughts. How many hours are we both into Jedi Fallen Order? For me, I think I'm about 5 hours, and I've quote unquote completed 1 or 2 planets.
I'm pretty sure I'm
completed, being that's a Metroidvania and you bounce around.
I'm gonna say I'm pretty sure I'm way past halfway. Probably because I can't see any other powers I can get right now. So I think I'm wrapping up.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll just pull up my Death Stranding notes.
No,
for anybody who's played Death Stranding, I just won't carry that much. Let me tell you, as someone who does grocery runs and lives on a 3rd-story apartment, you are going to grab every damn bag you can. That doesn't make sense. I played Death Stranding forever, man.
I can tell since you won't stop talking. No,
do you ever pick up just one grocery bag and walk into your house? No. You pick up as many as you could possibly carry without damaging the eggs.
Justin, Justin, I didn't break it, but I did severe damage to my wrist before Roran was born, and I still was carrying like 15 bags at once.
Yep.
No, we all grab all the bags, and Death Stranding is clearly the game made for that, subsection of people, which is actually most people.
Oh, and that's the other part, Sam. A lot of cutscenes. What I mean by a lot of cutscenes is not there's a lot of story cutscenes. There's those two. What I mean by a lot of cutscenes is every time Sam takes a shower, there's a scene of him getting into the shower, scene of him taking the shower, scene of the chemicals that come out, and scene of him getting out of the shower. And you have to do 4 different skips to get past that every fucking time. Every time you get to a BT area, there's a cutscene just for a thing to flash and stop the gameplay. So there's a weird part. It's a game I can't recommend to everybody. Is very like the reason why the review scores are everywhere is because it is hard to interpret this game. This is not for everybody. It's for some people who are really going to dig it. Is it a well put together game? Yeah. As a game, yes. It's definitely more complete Metal Gear Solid 5. It's less buggy than Fallen Order.
I really am appreciating the conversation. You just won't stop it. I'm just tired. I'm so very tired. No,
I mean, a lot of jokes about Jeff Keighley better tiptoe around the Game Awards. Like, it's one of those things. If Death Stranding doesn't win a lot of awards, it's because of Jeff Keighley. Jeff Stranding wins all the awards, it's because of Jeff Keighley. Jeff Stranding doesn't win any awards, it's because of Jeff Keighley. I feel bad for him because he's damn.
You just called it You called it Jeff Stranding. I just want to point out.
It is Jeff Stranding. But it's hard. Like, I know he doesn't have influence over the votes, and he doesn't. He set it up. He does a good thing. I hope people need to stop giving him crap about it. But he did make a WWE pay-per-view level hype trailer for Kojima that he personally made.
Mm-hmm.
It was weird.
Yeah,
but I loved it.
Yeah. So Yosemite Blam in chat saying, great show. Save Fallen Order /Pokemon /Game Awards /Stadia for next week, ? Plus on top of who else, what happens.
Stadia, not yet.
Yeah, there you go. Stadia can be kind of covered that. And Justin.
Thank you all for joining us this week. The Catch All Podcast is live every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on Mixer.com/ConCalPod. We're on Facebook at Facebook.com/Constantly Calibrating, Twitter at ConCalPod. I am your lovely host that keeps things in orders, Justin at Justin_Glorious on Twitter. Here is Josh, who's just writhing in mental pain at Bear Punch, and I won't let him go eat. Check Instagram at Instagram.com/Constantly Calibrating. Come chat with us on Discord at ConstantlyCalibrating.com/Discord. Please make sure to leave us reviews here when you're able to. It really does help get us the podcast in front of more listeners, helps get us more opportunities. It's just good stuff. Apple Podcasts and Spotify help the most. And with that, razzle dazzle wubub. Until we catch you next time, it's been a pleasure. And you had such a good opportunity typing somewhere in there because I'm that tired to read it.
Yeah, I thought about it. I actually just thought about it like 30 seconds ago. I just was leaning back, so I couldn't actually do it.
Looking forward to Jeff Stranding.
Jeff Stranding.